In the process of getting awareness of the deeds of great people, we may not become like, but we really feel exotic. History always surprises us, shocks us, sometimes scares us. After going through the history, I found a person whose life is still a case study for all generations. He is a big question for us, and he is the answer to none other than Chanakya. Other names are Kautilidu and Vishnuguptadu. In this video, we are going to know only about his significant portion of life which made him so popular and which taught lessons even to a person who is already a born intelligent, and the relation of Chanakya with some great persons of the same era whom we still remember even after so many centuries. They are Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, Alexander, Aristotle, Socrates. Let's get into point. Who is Chanakya? Why his foreign policy methods are still being followed by many countries? You know, experiencing something for the first time which we had never felt can make you feel surprised for a moment. I'm talking about Chanakya's incredible intelligence, ancient culture of India, big elephants, huge statues, and all. The story is about 2500 years old. When things are too old, we cannot state about personal life so exactly. There are no evidences about the information I am giving, except in Greek and Buddhist scriptures. You can refer those if you want to. His place of birth is unknown. When Chanakya was born, people thought he would become a king, but he belonged to a Brahmin family, so it was considered inappropriate. He studied the toughest scriptures and memorized in his infancy only. He was master in economics, political issues, and war strategies, and wanted everybody to get benefited. So has written Ardhashastra and Niti Shastra. Those manuscripts serve unbelievable information. The Ardhashastra was actually considered lost and was discovered again in 1905. A copy of Ardhashastra in Sanskrit written on palm leaves was presented by a Tamil Brahmin from Tanjavur to the newly opened Mysore Oriental Library. The text was identified by the librarian R. Shamashastri as the Great Ardhashastra written by Chanakya. Those manuscripts have reminded the power of Chanakya once again to the whole universe. And he was educated at Takshashila, located in present-day Pakistan. Takshila, according to the Indian epic Ramayana, Takshila was founded by Bharata, younger brother of Rama. The city was named for Bharata's son Taksha, its first ruler. The great Indian epic Mahabharata was, according to tradition, first recited at Takshila only. The teachers were highly knowledgeable who used to teach sons of kings at Takshila. The students were admitted after graduating from their own countries. The intellectuals from across the country were warmly invited for the intercourse of new ideas and was the center for different origins in the religious scriptures also. Takshila is mentioned as the place where the king of snakes, Vasuki, selected Takshila for the dissemination of knowledge on earth. Later on, he became a teacher, Acharya of political science and economics at Takshila itself. After some years, somehow Chanakya came to know that there was a chance of foreign invasion. There is a need to strengthen the country politically and economically. With these thoughts in mind, he left Takshila University for Patliputra, which brought drastic changes in the politics of India. The city of fortunes, Patliputra, known as Patna, located in the state of Bihar. The ruler of Patliputra was always dissatisfied with the amount of money he had. When Chanakya arrived at Patliputra, there was nothing as he expected. There, Chanakya became the president of Sunga Trust in Patliputra. While delivering duties, Chanakya had to meet the king frequently, but whenever he meets, Chanakya avoided praising the king. He always spoke bluntly. Note this point 1. The king didn't like the way of Chanakya. He removed Chanakya from the post of president. So he erupted like a volcano on the king and said, "Arrogance in you has eroded the respect which I had for you. You have removed me from the presidency. See, I will dethrone you." Just after that, in a hurried walk, Chanakya scampered through the streets of Pataliputra, and a young man has seen him. The young man was Chandragupta Maurya, first ruler of Maurya's empire. He wanted to talk to him. He went to Chanakya. Chanakya asked him, "Who are you? You seem to be worried." The young man said, "I am in great trouble. The Nandas tried to kill my family. I want to take revenge on the Nandas who are ruling over the country presently." Chanakya, who was freshly wounded by the Nandas, found a companion to destroy the king. Since he was impressed by him, Chanakya said, "I will fulfill your dream." From that day, Chanakya and Chandragupta worked together to destroy the corrupted ruler of Nandas about 8 years. Note this point too. Before defeating the Nandas, Chanakya adopted various strategies. Chanakya and Chandragupta began the attack from the borders of the Magadha Empire. There were many mistakes. The troops were not stationed in the areas conquered. Note this point 3. Thus, those who had been defeated already had to be fought again and again. After that, They stationed troops in the conquered regions also, so those enemies would not rise and cause any trouble. Finally, Chandragupta got the throne. Under the prime ministry of Chanakya, King Chandragupta Maurya conquered many lands. Days were passing nicely. Every day Chanakya adds poison in little amounts in Chandragupta's food in order to make him used to poison. However, Chandragupta was unaware about this and once gave a little food to his wife who was in the 9th month of pregnancy. After having that, she was unable to survive, but Chanakya saved the baby. This baby grew up. He is Bindusara. Chanakya continued to be the chief advisor for Bindusara also. One of the ministers of Bindusara, Subandhu, made Bindusara believe that it was Chanakya who killed his mother in a brutal manner. Without assessing facts, Bindusara confronted Chanakya. Remember this point 4. During this time, a nurse who was with Bindusara's mother Durga revealed the mystery behind the queen's death. Chanakya was so upset with the behavior of Bindusara, whom he loved the most, therefore he left the place, and some say he sat starving until death, and some say Subandhu killed him. Thus ended the life of a great person like Chanakya, just because of political rivalry. Remember this point 5. And Chanakya spent his last days in South India like Chandragupta Maurya spent. In the same era, we have too many great persons. Alexander, the world conqueror, who came, saw and conquered, but was kind enough to let a person alive. When he was in war, he was impressed by Porus king, since he fought till the death without losing hope. There was no doubt that Alexander was frightened by the sight of Indian war elephants with Porus king. When Alexander the Great invaded India in 326 BCE, Chanakya was busy in making strategies to defeat Dhanananda, and Chandragupta didn't get the throne. But Chanakya and Alexander must have met. After Alexander's departure, Chandragupta occupied more lands, and when the great Ashoka was young, Chanakya was old. Let's analyze their ages. Chanakya born on 350 BCE and died on 275 BCE. Ashoka born on 304 BCE and died on 232 BCE. BCE means before current era. Chanakya died 7 years before Ashoka took the throne. But Chanakya was alive at the time of Ashoka the prince. But he was not alive when Ashoka took the throne. This also implies that since Chanakya was the administrator and chief advisor to Bindusara, father of Ashoka, he also must have interacted with Ashoka. He played the great role in the initial age of Ashoka, which helped him a lot for the formation of Akhand Bharat. And Ashoka was the only king who expanded his empire in all the directions. And Aristotle, Plato, Socrates have some similarities with Chanakya. All were philosophers actually. Aristotle was Plato's student and Plato was Socrates' student. These three are called Big Three Greek philosophers. Aristotle was also the tutor of Alexander, and Aristotle was the only person existing at the time of Chanakya, but not Socrates and Plato. Since they spoke different languages entirely, even if Chanakya and Aristotle met, they would have not understood each other. The points that are highlighted by me are Chanakya's learnings. Learning a lesson from our mistake is general thing, but learning a lesson from others' mistake is not at all a simple thing. Someone said. The great Chanakya dreamt of an egalitarian society where there are equal opportunities for all, and every person that you are meeting will teach you something good and something bad. You should see it in learning perspective only. One point you should fix in mind. Knowledge is everything. A BTech student should aware of constitution, and a commerce student should aware of technology. I need to say one last thing. Chanakya has truly guided the generations with his Niti Shastra, the way of life. Salute to the great Chanakya.